All right, let's move on to the next subject, which is like, it's our mutual friend Molly's going to love this talk, is sleep. And so let's talk about the role and importance of sleep for you all. Maybe sleep preparation, what you do in regards to like how you prep, when you prep, just sleep in general. How much of a priority is it for you? And then how do you sleep well, or maybe not so well? Hopefully you're both sleeping pretty well.
We do our best. We're both slightly different sleepers. Like I'm a dolphin chronotype, which I don't think rules my world, but I'm naturally like a pretty light sleeper. And Renee and I are both pretty sensitive to light and stimulation at nighttime. So we're both really strict about the blue light blockers, getting off devices, dimming the lights, which I find is actually really difficult. I'm in my parents' house right now and they're not sensitive. So they have the lights up full, like the dimmer is not even touched. So I'll like creep through the room. I'm like, can you please turn on the lights? So ideally, dimming the lights at night, just trying to do relaxing things. I have an amp coil. Are you familiar with that device?
I am, yes. But explain.
Yeah, so the amp coil is a PEMF device with Tesla coil technology, and it's essentially sound frequency to bring the body back into its resonant frequency so we can encourage natural healing in the bodies. And there's all types of journeys for organ support, for detox, for nervous system regulation. I love the nervous system down regulation at nighttime, like a Relaxol before bed. If I happen to have been on my computer too late, or maybe watched a dramatic Netflix show, which, talk about taking the hit. Sometimes I really want to enjoy that. So I try to do my down regulation at
gotta
night.
Get in your Ozark.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So good. And then just sleep environment. Like I'm really, really picky about temperature. I have to sleep in an ice box. And if I don't, then I know my sleep is going to take a hit. And so if I'm traveling, sometimes there's some tension with whoever I'm visiting. I'm like fighting for the thermostat to go down, but temperature seems to be the biggest variable. Darkness would be second on that list, but just making sure I'm not choosing
what's the ambient room temperature that you like to set it at?
62 or 3.
Whoa, that's really cold.
I know.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah.
I like it like 67, and then most people are like 67's chilly for me. And then I also use like an Uller or chili pad. But yeah, 62, like woo.
Icebox.
Yeah, that's an icebox.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I love it.
Yeah. Were you okay at my house this week at 65?
Are you the same way, Renee?
Well, I also find like depending on the home or the environment, like 65 could feel very differently in different places. Yeah. So I don't know.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I was fine at your house.
Okay. Whew, not in trouble.
Right. What about you, Renee? What do you do for sleep?
Yeah, I would say sleep is my number one biohack. I prioritize that over exercise and nutrition and everything else. I think coming from before I got really sick, I didn't prioritize sleep. I was like the 4 or 5 hour club. I would push through the day, and surprise, surprise, I got really sick and had chronic fatigue syndrome after all of that. So it went from 4 to 5 hours to then sleeping 12 to 13 hours a night. I mean, my body forced me to make up for lost time. So over the years, I'm like a 9-hour kind of girl. That's just my sweet spot. I need a little bit more sleep, I think, maybe than the average person. But like Lauren said, super sensitive to light at night. I got my blue blockers on after sunset, thermostat down to 65, 66. I sleep with an eye mask every night now. I don't know. It's like, not only is it dark, but it's almost like a safety thing. I sleep like a baby with the eye mask on. Yeah, I'm a good sleeper. I'm more of like a bear. I'm a bear chronotype, so I'm like down and I'm good for the night until my maybe alarm or the sun comes up. But I like to sleep a lot.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I am one of those individuals too. I'm very sensitive to light, and I have to wear a mask at night. I shouldn't say I have to. That means I'm reliant. But there are 3 things that are a part of what need to be on my body when I sleep. One would be an eye mask, and I use one from a company called Manta, which I absolutely love. Like, I think that's such a great eye mask. And then I like to put a nasal strip on to open up my nasal pathways when I sleep. And then I put mouth tape on. So open up the nose, mouth tape to close the mouth. And that's like my recipe. And I feel so at home, like when I have that. I was curious, do either of you use mouth tape, or have you used it in the past? Do you see any benefit for you, like in improving sleep?
I've played with it. I can't say that I have seen a change. Even like my HRV, my respiratory rate, deep sleep, REM sleep, I don't see a change. I'm sure it's helpful, but
yeah, I haven't seen a change either. And I think we're both a little defiant just because we have a message about the mouth taping. Like, our dad's a biological dentist. He treats sleep apnea. And we see a lot of people are just going straight to the mouth taping without actually addressing their respiratory system functioning. And so you could be closing off a hole, which is your only way to get oxygen while you're sleeping. So I think it can benefit a lot of people, but I think because of what we've learned from our dad, we're like, maybe not everyone should be mouth taping. So just like cautionary tale, like check it out for yourself and maybe experiment during the day or before you go to bed, before you just like shut it up and go to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, if you have sleep apnea,
that's a really valuable point.
Yeah. It could be really dangerous. I mean, snoring is a survival mechanism, and clenching your jaw is a survival mechanism. If you're not getting enough air, your body's going to clench your jaw. It's trying to expand the muscles in your neck so you can get oxygen. So for some people, they just close that off. It could be really dangerous. So you definitely want to rule that out.
It's a great point. Yeah, it's again one of those things that people hear about. Oh, there's efficacy or need, or like so and so is mouth taping, therefore I need to do it, and you could potentially be doing more harm than you are good. And so there's obstructive sleep apnea is so highly prevalent, and there are so many individuals that are struggling with it and don't even realize it. And so a lot more sleep studies need to be had for people so that they can find and diagnose and then figure out more root cause type approaches to to effectively utilizing their respiratory system, instead of just throwing I guess you could say it's almost kind of like a literal Band-Aid on, which is the mouth tape over the mouth. It's something that needs to be discussed. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because I don't want people just to fall into this pattern of saying, well, I heard Jay talk about it, I heard Lauren or Renee talk about whatever they do, and therefore I must do it. It still comes back to not every single approach works for everybody or should be implemented by everybody. So I appreciate you sharing that. Thanks for listening to the Hanu Health Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. This podcast would not happen without listeners and supporters like you. And the best way to support us and the show is to head on over to iTunes and provide us with a 5-star review. This helps us reach others and spread the good word of breathing and stress resiliency. If we read your 5-star review on air, please reach out to podcast@hanuhealth.com with your name and mailing address, and we will send you some sweet Hanu gear. Until next time, breathe better and stress less.